Gary, round 17, and we got over North Ballarat out at Frankston Park by 13 points, and despite the fact that it was a messy game and inaccuracy plagued our performance, taking home another 4 points certainly overrides the way the game might have looked from a spectacle point of view.
Yeah, that's true, Sam. And look, obviously one thing we can't do anything about is the ground shift, and we can't do anything about the weather. So, we kicked 6 goals 4 in the first quarter, so I thought we played actually pretty well. The second quarter, I thought for the first probably 10 to 12 minutes, I thought our pressure and locking the ball inside our forward half was really, really good. The only thing we didn't do was obviously finish the good work, and then of course you're always going to leave the door slightly open, and who would have thought that they could kick 13-1 at game's end from 14 scoring shots, and albeit that we gave them, I reckon, probably 6 goals through 50-metre penalties and decisions that were not executed as well as we would like, so they weren't obviously to the advantage of what we wanted it to be. And then in the third quarter, 3 goals 9. Obviously some of those were snapshots, some of them were set shots, and we just didn't move the ball into probably the corridor with any what I call footy intelligence. And in the last quarter, I thought we were pretty good, to be honest. That was a strong breeze, and again, they kicked inaccurately, and I thought we moved the ball pretty well into the breeze in the last quarter. We scored a couple of goals ourselves. We should have scored more than that anyway, because some of the decisions of a Blake Pearson, when he had Josh Kippione free by 25 metres, and of course he failed to handball or kick it to him over into space, and then end up falling over. So there's some things there that some of our players definitely need to be executing that better going forward. But all in all, I was pretty happy, because this is a pretty tough block that we've just come off, and if you had said to anyone around the club, obviously the coaches would have been pretty darn happy with 6-1, considering we were 4-4. So considering we haven't played a lot at home for obvious reasons, I think 6-1's a pretty good result.
And this win all but confirms that we will be participating in the finals this season, which is firstly a credit to yourself and the coaches, so well done on that. But now it's all about trying to finish as high as we can to give ourselves the best chance, and the bye this weekend should allow the whole group to refresh, review and attack those last few weeks full throttle.
Yeah, we've got to really be up and about now, there's no doubt about that. The next 4 weeks is very much about what we need to do to fine-tune, to obviously rectify some of the things that we've probably not been doing as well as we could have in the last 4 or 5 months. There's certainly plenty of work to do, and every week we review it, and more often than not it's actually about the little things that we can control. It's not anything more than that. We need to get as many guys as we now need to get into really good form over the next month. Another really good positive from the weekend was that Sam Dwyer and Mitch Golby both got through their games. So currently, as it stands, someone like Luke Tynan is probably one that we need to get up and about in the next couple of weeks, and he's on track for that. So, if things keep going the way it should against Collingwood, and obviously the development team plays Williamstown, we should have most of the guys available for selection. Then it just comes down to making some hard calls.
What's obviously going to be important in the lead up to the finals is getting an even contribution across the ground from as many players as we can. Do you feel like we're starting to see signs of that now? I mean, as an example, on Saturday you had someone like Harvey Hooper come in as 23rd man and really play a pretty crucial role in the win.
Yeah, no, he was pretty solid, and Harvey's form's been pretty consistent in the last probably 6 or 7 weeks, and I think he's learnt a fair bit from his first game, which from memory was against Footscray earlier in the season. Certainly the guys that I think have consistently been playing pretty well, a couple of them had downers on Saturday, but it's a bloody tough competition, and I think anyone that asks when they've played against North Ballarat, they'd certainly say that they're going to be playing pretty competitively, and we saw that again. So I remember talking to Andy Collins a couple of weeks ago, and they even gave Willie a bit of a fright down there. So all you can do is win. All you can do is take in your stride what needs to be done. The greater contributions that we demand here have to be given by all players, and guys like Geordie Lyle I thought end up playing a pretty solid game, and he had to play a slightly different role, I thought. Guy Dixon came in, and I thought in the last quarter when we needed to, I guess, tactically play something just slightly different, I thought he was pretty important in that role. Sam Crocker, I thought, had a pretty solid game. Brody Mychek's just been a jet for us this year. He was very, very good, and if we can consistently look at what we need to do to improve, these guys that I mentioned previously coming back in should certainly do that. So, yeah, we just got to look at onwards and upwards from here on in, I think.
And the Development League had yet another good win, which you touched on already, which also keeps their finals chances alive. But as you mentioned as well, particularly pleasing to see Sam Dwyer and Mitch Golby get through unscathed. Can fans expect to see those two pressing for senior selection after the bye? And obviously Luke Tynan and possibly Nathan Batsanis as well?
Yeah, there's certainly 4 guys that hopefully will give me migraines in the next couple of weeks. But then that's not to say that guys like Billy Hogan certainly has been pretty consistent. Tommy Gordon, Jake McKenzie, Nick Dixon. So Alex Spencer had a good game on the weekend as well. Alex Urban's just been terrific pretty much all year. So even the 2 young ruckmen too in Jared Smith and Michael Wen probably played their best combination game together. So hopefully that augurs well for, I guess, the next few years if we can keep hold of both of them. So I think there's a little bit to play with, and obviously coming up against Collingwood in a couple of weeks, they're no doubt the form side of the competition with their streak of wins. So out of Victoria Park, and we're going to have to do a lot of planning. And just remember though too that we've got confidence in what we're doing, and again I think the build continues to be. And as I said, at the halfway mark of the season, pretty much we're 4-4, and now we're 10-5. So I think that would suggest that we've got some really good foundations to work with going forward.
Gary, thanks for your time as always on Borough TV.
Thanks, Sam.